Hello everyone, I'm MJRegan. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy what you see. It's going to get crazy. Welcome everyone who is new to the podcast. This is the very first Maccaholics official podcast, and this is with MJRegan on the left there, Ronaldo on the right, and then me, MJRegan. These are going to be semi-regular as well. We're going to talk through some interesting topics today, but the one that we're going to start with, because the one that we actually all really bonded over, was OnlyFans. No, it wasn't. It was Apex. So we're gonna start on some Apex discussion, and we're gonna talk really about kind of the state of the game and where it's at right now, because we are in a bit of a place with it where. Personally, I don't think it's in the greatest of states, but we'll start with pubs and the state that the game of pubs is in. So can you? We'll start with you, MJ, because obviously top left and a nice little clockwise go. What do you think of the state of the game at the minute? Do you think it's in a good state? For pub players, for people who are maybe new to the game, trying it out, do you think it's in a good place?
No.
And moving on, Bri.
Mate, the game's fucking ruined.
Okay. What would you say? What would you say is the worst thing that they've introduced, particularly with this season for pubs? And why is it in such a bad state for pubs? And new players.
The matchmaking. Honestly, I think that's one of the worst things I've ever done.
Yeah.
It's still broke. Yes, you're getting a few more shitters, bots, whatever you want to call them, but you still got your masters and preds.
Still smurfing.
And obviously smurfs, like, yeah, you can smurf, but literally after 1-2 good games, you're in a master pred lobby. I've seen that. And the game's just not. There's just so many people just literally, they just full send it. They don't even play the game how it's meant to be played anymore. It's literally turned into a COD team deathmatch.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I agree with that with pubs. I think.
I don't know.
Right. On top of that as well, are you in the same mindset? Do you think there's anything that you want to add?
To be fair, playing pubs, especially when you've got high KD, like Matt says, with the matchmaking and that, it's basically like the last past season's ranked matches.
Yeah.
If I'm honest. I find it more enjoyable to play pubs than ranked, but obviously ranked is a later topic, so I won't go too much into that. But yeah, I'd say I'd agree with Matt.
Yeah.
Just that everyone full sending, even if you go in solo, your randoms are Wraith who thinks you can take on the world when they're just baldy full foldings.
Yeah. I think in terms of what we'd like to see from pubs as well, is certainly more of a balanced game in terms of sort of the pace of it. There isn't really a good pace to pubs. It's very much a case that everybody's dead after the first zone, pretty much. You're looking at well over half the teams after zone 1. And you're looking at probably six teams max will probably be what's left after the first ring. And it just makes it no real point in looting at that point. What's the point in looting?
It's not fun either.
No.
It's not like other games have got like even if you look at Overwatch, you've got the ranked, but then you've got things like Total Mayhem and that, which can be fun. With Apex, it's just like you've got ranked or shitters. It might as well not be called pubs. It might as well just be called shitters, because everyone just, like you say, full sends to the end. And by the time you've looted up, there's 3 teams left.
Yeah, and with the new game modes that have come in, do you think they've split the balance a bit better with control and team deathmatch and gun game? Do you think do you think that's probably where people are moving towards rather than the pub BR? Because the pub BR just doesn't feel like it's really working. But I think control is a really good one for, and the team deathmatch and the gun game are good for new people. Go in, learn the guns, learn the movement and the mechanics. But it doesn't teach you how to play a BR. Do you think there's a middle ground that's just not hit yet? And do you think those are good game modes?
Do you want to take that, or do you want me to?
I'd say the LTMs are better. Like, the matchmaking for LTMs is a lot better. You probably get 1 or 2 sweaty players out of the whole lobby, and that's it. The rest of it, I'd say, is balanced.
Yeah.
But pubs, like, pubs is ranked. Ranked is pubs. End of. That's literally how it's played now. Like, no one cares what rank you are. Everyone can hit a Masters this season. If you don't, it's because you're clearly not playing that mode or whatever. But the LTMs, like they're definitely more balanced, and I feel like they've just got their matchmaking mixed up and just need to flip them.
Yeah. I think
because I'd expect masters against masters in an LTM or whatever, or certain ranks against each other, and then obviously if it's more balanced that way in a pub match or whatever, you're gonna enjoy it more.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, same sentiment, really.
Yeah. Same, but I also think you said about the middle ground. I think the middle ground would be bringing back arenas, because I know a lot of people enjoyed arenas. Used it for 3v3 situations, which you obviously come up against in battle royales. So I think bringing that back would be better for the game overall, and it would stop all these sweats going to pubs and things like that. It'll give them something else to do as well.
Yeah. And kind of moving on into it as well, because of the sort of the pubs and we've spoke about ranked is a big topic. We'll cover that quite a bit. Do you think it's a case that just what pubs needs is a good ranks and then it will get better, or do you think that pubs need to revamp as well? Because obviously with pubs, with rank being such a state, and we'll talk about it in a second, do you think pubs were in a good state when there was a good rank system?
Define the last good rank system.
Maybe season 13,
season 11.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even say season 13.
They weren't as bad. They were more enjoyable, and they weren't as bad as they are now. They weren't as bad in the state as they are now. Because, like you say, you've got people who get into masters but aren't masters level. I got to masters myself. I'm not masters level. Say I'm diamond, mid diamond, somewhere around there. But I shouldn't be coming up against people who are high preds, and they're the people that you come up against. I mean, ultimately, it's going to make you better at the game playing against better people.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not going to make you better at the game when you're playing against these people who run the lobbies. There's 4 teams left, and they're at the other end of the map to you. By the time you get there, it's you v them. You might as well play arenas at that point.
Yeah, because you're not really learning the fighting mechanics. No. You're not really learning the rotations. You're just learning, right. The only thing you're learning is where the last team is, really. And that's pretty much, you can get into one fight. I mean, how many pub games have we had where you've killed one person and won, and you haven't seen anyone for the whole game? It's an issue. So they need to find a way. I think, there was a big issue, particularly on World's Edge, with the fragment being a hot zone for people to drop and die, and that's certainly something that we have seen addressed. But I don't think it's fixed any issues. It might be a little bit slower on World's Edge, maybe tiny bit. But other than that, I think, there's and it's not an easy issue to fix. I think maybe find some kind of smaller maps. Would that make it a little bit better? Maybe make the ring known from the first ring, potentially. So you go, right, the zone is actually already on the map, and it's just the first ring to bring the map a little bit closer so people have more close engagement, something like that. It's really hard to fix for pubs, because people are trying to get their badges, aren't they? They're literally trying to get their 4K badges, their 2K badges, and the 20 bombs. It's tough to fix it. Have you got any ideas of how you would implement a fix? Is there anything that comes to mind, springs to mind for you guys, goes, right, this would fix pubs, or is at least a step in the direction?
Have the same layout as in ranked. Like the storm damage in pubs is less damage, like the first few, than it is in ranked, isn't it? So I'll probably just make it the same scenario as it is in ranked. Use pubs as somewhere where you can actually practice your ranked, instead of just, like I say, you get people who are playing in bronze and silver who want to play the game, but in pubs, when they practice, they come up against masters, preds, gods, basically, and it's like they're not going to enjoy the game, and they're probably going to switch to another game.
Sure. MJ, any ideas?
Reset it. If I'm honest, reset it back to season 11 and literally reset everyone's account back to the basic. Start again. Leave the placement matches in. I think they're good. I actually think they're good for the game. Leave the placement matches in. I know you're saying it on the pubs level, but obviously for ranked. But even that will obviously sort pubs out. It'll put you where you need to be, put others where they need to be. Because there's no fun going into pubs and slapping rookies and bronzes. You look good, but they're shit in essence of it. Like, you want to be slapping people you're level.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be fragging. That's where you want to be improving and looking back on something and thinking, what could I have done better there? Like, why did they outgun me, or why did they outthink me, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, going into a pub's game knowing that there's trackers now that you can actually have on your screen, and it'll show you the list of ranks and players that are in your lobby. And I've seen it on other people's streams. They're going around slapping kids and thinking they're popping off, but they're killing rookies. And I'm just like, calm down.
Yeah.
The same on TikTok, isn't it? You see someone with a decent TikTok and
You
it's
know.
like, oh, I killed all these people, but like, whereas people who are genuine are having fights where they're actually taking shots back.
Yeah.
These other guys are looking for seagulls in the sky. You know what I mean? Well, they're absolutely beaming them.
Like Will.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. Like Will.
Will just.
I've seen videos on TikTok where people say they're fragging out in a rank lobby, but they've cut their rank out the photo, and it's like, well, why are you doing that? Like, I mean, really, would you? But I don't know. I'd reset it. I'd do something drastic.
Yeah, and we'll talk about rank then, because ranked is obviously a big part of what it's our bread and butter. That's what we've always been. Us three in particular, we're rank grinders. We don't really want to. We don't really want to play the other game modes too much. We'll dabble in them. Yeah. Control, for example, for me, I really enjoy it as a warm-up before I go into rank to get my fingers going. Pobs, I will play with potentially with like new people, particularly to try and get them to learn the game, particularly very brand new people. And occasionally for things like, I mean, we've had to make the game interesting ourselves with things like spin the wheel when it comes to pubs. We had to make it interesting because the game wasn't. We'd spin the wheel, we'd have a laugh, we'd go and hide in a bush whilst giggling like children with characters that we didn't really use. That kind of thing. But pubs wasn't interesting because of that. We're rank grinders. Ranked at the moment is in the worst state it's ever been in, by far. And it's not close for me. The fact that anybody can get to Masters just by playing is disgraceful, really, in terms of an actual estimate of your skill. It's crazy. And to be able to get to Masters without doing a single piece of damage is an issue. Talking on rank then, let's just dive straight into it. Is this the worst state? Is this the worst state the game has been in because of this rank system, or has it been worse?
Ooh.
Season 12 was the same.
Season 12 was bad. It was bad.
That was a write-off. It was literally anybody could hit Masters.
See, the only reason I'd say it's better than Season 12 would be because it's brought in other game modes.
Yep.
That's the only, but I don't, the thing is, you think of Apex, you don't, like you say, us three in particular, I know there's a lot more people in the community, but we want to play ranked. I was saying it to somebody the other day, I can't play pubs because at the end, even if you win, it's like, yeah, I won, but I've got nothing for it. I've got nothing to show. You get no points. There's no, I know it's going to sound nerdy, but there's no buzz there when you win. Like when you win in a ranked or a high end ranked game, you get the shakes and all sorts. You've been there yourself, Mac. You've been there yourself as well. But when you win in pubs, it's just like, and you could finish with a high number of kills, 15 kills or something. You just like, half of them people shouldn't have been in that lobby that I was in.
Yeah.
And but going back to what your original question was, I think 12 was the worst. To be fair, I have to agree with Matt there. I mean, starting off, it wasn't too great either, but you could let it slide because you knew there was something more promising there, and it's like they've started to peak, and when they've started to peak, they've just gone backwards. Yeah, and I think they did that at like season 12. They started going backwards, and then season 13 was obviously really good and really hard, but again, going on from there, it just seems to have gone backwards instead of forwards. Yeah,
and I think one thing I would say is that the communication from the Apex team's not been great. I would be okay if they said, yeah, we've made an issue, we've made a boo-boo, and we'll fix it. But the communication's been pretty much dead. It's been, the same stuff that we've seen for a good while now of, well, here's an event with some skins, and look, tell us how good your kills have been with ballistic. I think in terms of the ranked, what I think we've kind of seen is a shift. There is a positive. There is one positive I will say with the rank system, the end games. And that is one thing that some of the end games that I've played since the rank systems come in, where there's 6 and 7 teams in the final zone, have been extremely fun. I must say that it's the only positive I can really put a spin on, is that you can have a really, really entertaining end game in some of them here, and you weren't really getting that in a lot of the ranked lobbies. Particularly lower down, you'd still get your fraggers dropping in there with the Smurfs. Smurfing is not anywhere near as much of an issue. I don't think this. It's certainly in the first few weeks of it, because everybody needed to just grind to masters, because it was a case of, right, let's just play. And once you've got there, you've got there. So Smurfing was kind of taken out. I will say also that there is a second positive of the boosters with the 6-manning, where they just use the respawn beacons. They kind of took that out, and I'll give them prompts for that, where you don't get the extra KP for the extra kills. It made a difference to an extent. However, you don't need KP anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference for this rank system. In the old rank system, fine, but this one, not so much.
It's more of a 2-step forward, 4 steps back, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like they're good implementations, but if you keep the same rank system, or you make a rank system that's better for you. So I'd like to see Season 13 come back in. I'd like to see Season 13 come back in, just to really, really, really put to the test, right, what level are you able to get to? Because I think a lot of people should definitely... There are positives to this season in terms of, you get to play with different people. If everyone gets to Masters...
One thing I will say that they have done very well with, there's less cheaters.
Yeah, I think there is. I
don't know what they've done, but their anti-cheat clearly works now.
I think it's probably easier to identify because you don't get the same level of fragging that you once did, because everybody is sitting in corners not fighting anyway. So I'd imagine that the cheaters are easier to identify because they're the ones that are just snapping onto heads, and the end games and stuff like that, where there's lots of people still left over. You don't really need to cheat. You can get free RP anyway. It's so easy to get through. That being said, there is a skill to the patience of playing that many games for some of the lower ranked players who previously the likes of sort of the golds and the plat players who have hit masters. They've probably taken a bit out of it by being able to grind that game up. So you've got to give them prompts to that. That is a skill, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't still qualify you as a masters player. I've never hit masters. I still don't class myself as ever hitting masters. So I would have liked to have done it in a different way.
See, this is what I mean. I'm more happy for people to get to masters who have actually grinded it out, who's like put the hours in and actually got there, and like, because in their gameplay as well, you can tell that they're getting better.
Yeah,
I know we're touching up on it later, so I'm not going to mention any names. But yeah, like these people who are like actually grinding out, spending more time on the game. It's good for them. This season is good for them.
Yeah.
Because, but like for like the other players who are there.
Yeah.
Like ourselves, who sweat it out basically.
Yeah. I mean, MJ's hit masters before, so really, in terms of sort of the rank system of hitting it, knows all of the determination it takes, the skill you've got to use to get there. Me and Rye have both pushed for it. Got semi close, I'd probably say is what we've got, especially in
two, I think.
Yeah. So we've been close-ish.
He hasn't corrected you then that he's an ex-pred actually.
I'm not though, because I didn't hold it. I only hit the rank.
Yeah, but you hit it.
I know, but I didn't hold it, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, but in any other conversation you would.
And it was on console lobbies, which are far easier than these PC
Yeah,
lobbies.
of course they are. I can say that now. At the time, I disagree. You've console people.
You've hit it on PC as well, so
always been PC.
Once a PC player, always a PC player, Jack.
Exactly.
But no, we'll move very, very quickly onto characters and weapons before we talk a little bit about the competitive scene. So we'll talk about characters and weapons. Do we think it's a pretty balanced place for characters and weapons at the moment?
Have they brought? Because I've heard, like I said, I haven't really played it. Have they nerfed Zia yet?
No.
It's a buff.
No, it's not.
No, sorry. They nerfed him, but in actual facts, they buffed him.
Yeah.
And it is so ridiculous with what's happening with him.
Yeah.
Like,
he slows characters down for 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, he stuns people now.
Almost a complete halt. It's crazy. It's stopped. They've got rid of the cancel heal, and they got rid of the cancel revive, which I think were definitely steps in the right direction. However, he is still extremely broken. He's very strong.
A scan can stun you, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Bloodhound
still.
scan don't fucking stun anyone.
Coming from Bloodhound,
That game went down. Right, that game went downhill when they took scan assists away from Bloodhound.
No, it didn't. No, don't even start.
That's where the game went downhill.
The amount of times I used to play with MJ in the olden days when that was a thing, and I'd used to say, "Right, they're on me. I'm in a fight," and he'd be like, "Wait, I need to scan." Oh, shut up and just shoot you fucking.
I'm not even gonna lie. I used to do that like when I played on. It was on Xbox. This when they were they were a thing. Like I'd play with randoms and they'd be fighting and this, that, and the other. And I would literally scan from 70 meters away, and I'd let them fight because I knew I was going to get the assist. And I'd just sit back and be like, "Cheers, boys, thank you." 3 RP, thank you. Well, I thought that was smart because you know.
Yeah. I mean, I recently played with Smeegs and Horn, and I had 2 assists with no damage as Seer, and it was great. It's really fun.
Wow.
I thoroughly enjoy it. But no, I think Seer's definitely broken. I feel bad for Valk. I think Valk's taken a big hit when she's actually a really high skill character. I think I mean, we played against a couple of Valks in the customs recently, and their movement was absolutely on point. And if you've got a Valk character that knows how to play the high ground and utilize the movement very nicely, they're really tricky to play against. But their ultimate now is essentially completely null and void with the balloons. So if they're gonna do anything with Valk, I think they need to bring her ult back to rapid time, where it just literally straight into the air as soon as they're on, bang, straight up. So I think they need to make a change there. Characters who need a buff, then. Let's just have a quick one about that. Characters who need a buff. Who are we thinking? Ra, what's that with you? MJ can't say Bloodhound. I think Rev. Yeah, Rev does.
There's barely, unless you play in LTMs, there's barely any Revs around. And everything about Rev entices me, but then everything about Rev makes me say he's such a shit character as well. A minute. Like the crouching, walking fast and silent, that's brilliant. Climbing buildings, that's brilliant. Whatever, like, and the taking away abilities that he's got is class, and obviously his actual special ability is really good. His respawn. But he needs a buff. He definitely needs a buff.
His ult needs some kind of change, I think. Yeah. Maybe take it away from other people, is what I'm thinking. Maybe just take it away from other people using it. MJ?
Yeah, I was thinking when he pops ult, right, do it like Ballistic does it. Send it out to your teammates. And then if you die whilst in his ult, just fucking redeploy you in the air so you can fly away.
I like it. I like that. That's not bad.
Don't send you back to a point that a team can just be sat there ratting. Just waiting for you to turn up again.
Yeah.
Because that would make him very OP though, because you could just run in, do damage, get sent back, fly up in the air, and land on the face. Well, just land on the face because they're going to be weak.
Yeah.
But I know what you said. He does need a buff somehow along the way.
Yeah. And then
that would be the main one for me.
And then with MJ, another character, what do you think?
Crypto.
Think he needs a buff?
Yeah.
Do you? I think comp wise he's pretty good. But maybe a little bit to do with his drone buff. I think his ult's still really good.
Just don't let players who stay in his drone all game play him. And then he's alright, to be honest with you. As long as you don't do that with Crypto, then you're alright.
I was joking, not Crypto. On a serious...
Here we go.
Who would I like to see buff? I'm thinking Rampart, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How? How would you buff her?
That's a good shout. Probably move faster while you've got a ult out in your hand. That'd be one. And then the shields, like the walls, I just wouldn't have them destroyable, sort of thing.
Really?
Or make them a bigger screen to shoot through.
Okay, yeah. No, that's fair. Or
make them bigger. So say, I don't know, one of her walls goes across the double door.
Okay, yeah. Right.
Just make the area of it a bit more sort of thing, because it's all dandy. She can cover one half, but then you've still got half a door that's open.
Okay.
Yeah, there just should be more cover that you can use.
Do you think it would be a game changer going to Rampart? Do you know, like how Newcastle has his walls where it's like in front of him and then curves around him? I think it would be better if she had one of them walls.
Maybe, yeah.
Not as big, not as on a bigger scale, but like just like obviously so she can turn to corner.
And you get a Rampart circle all the way around.
You could have a Rampart wall like that, but you could have like little windows then of shields that you could shoot through. So you've still got a break in the wall, but then you've also got what you can shoot through.
Yeah.
I think maybe an extra.
It takes for the walls to go up as well. I think that needs to be shortened.
Maybe an extra.
As it's going.
Maybe an extra wall, maybe an option wall, so you can pick one wall or pick another wall, something like that. Maybe. Yeah. Some characters are just a higher skill character. Pathfinder, I think, if you can't use the movement, you're basically knackered because he's the biggest hitbox. So, and there's certain characters that are definitely a higher skill. Maybe Rampart's in that category as well. Yeah. But I do think, for me, I think Ash needs a buff. I think Ash needs a buff. She's her portal, whilst it's handy. It's not the strongest ult in the world. I think
you should be able to go back through it.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah, I do as well. Like Wraith.
Two-way portal.
Yeah, just like Wraith. It's not as far as Wraiths, so why can't it do the same thing in terms of Wraith? Yeah. You can go back in, go in and out, and whatnot. I also think her Q. I think she should have 2.
It's either 2 or make it last longer.
Yeah, or hit a little bit harder as well. Maybe does 20 damage.
Yeah, damage you a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, it does like what, 5, 10, if that.
5, I think.
So it's not strong, but yeah, I would like to see a little bit more. I think a lot of the characters are really well balanced. I think Horizon is just a really high skill character. I think that and could potentially just she might need a tiny nerf, but she's very highly skilled. I think Catalyst is very well balanced at the moment. She's really strong. Bloodhound.
Love Catalyst at the minute.
Watson, I think, again, if you're going to play that comp, you just got to learn how to use her. I think they're really well done for a lot of them. But yeah, a lot of the characters are quite even at the minute. I think there's just a few that might need a buff. Right, we'll very, very, very quickly talk on ALGS and LAN, just in terms of the competitive scene. I just want to get very, very quickly, who's going to win the next event? That's all we're going to say for this one. Who's going to win the event? Who's your bet on?
Here's Watson.
Furia, okay.
No, just his Watson by himself.
Drops his teammates, drops the solo.
He's so good. The things that I watched him do when we were watching him before, he's
a special talent.
He's so good to watch as well. Especially if you want to learn how to be aggressive.
Yeah. MJ?
TSM, mate. It's easy.
TSM? Okay.
Yeah. It's an easy one. You saw what we did at the last one. They were way out of it and then just somehow absolutely slapped the shit out of everyone.
True, they did.
And it was one of the best atmospheres ever.
I'm going for a left field pick. I'm going for European. I'm going Alliance. I think Alliance have got this one. Ooh. I think I'm ready to see Effect absolutely tear it apart on LAN. That kid is special. That kid is different. There's a reason he's just...
Monday, I'd agree with you.
I reckon Monday is an enigma, because he can do special things, and is a special player. But Effect has got the most kills. And he was playing in Russia. So I want to see this kid on LAN. I think he's going to be unbelievable. I think NRG definitely deserve a shout as well, because they're probably my favourite team. Yeah, I think Alliance. So our next topic is music. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on music. We won't spend too long on this one, but we are going to dive into it. We're going to talk about the state, particularly of modern music. So I'm going to ask you both open question here, really, to both of you, and jump right in. What do you think of the state of modern music? Is it as good as what it used to be, or is it way worse?
I wouldn't say it's way worse, but there's less like indie bands, like your Arctic Monkeys type of bands. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd say about 15 years ago, like Arctic Monkeys, Razorlight was another one.
Yeah.
Bands like that were around and they sort of picked up music again, I think. But since they've sort of dispersed, and I mean, I know Arctic Monkeys are still around, along with a few others, but since then, and it's not just one genre either. I think R&B has took a dip
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the
I
only
agree.
one that's excelled recently is more pop music.
You think it's
isn't a-
excelled? Okay.
I think there's more pop songs around, and there's more songs that get stuck in your head, and you only like it because it gets stuck in your head. I find myself singing Taylor Swift on the daily. You know what I mean? That would never have happened 15 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't.
Yeah.
But
Not fair.
along with I'd say Ed Sheeran as well.
The thing is with music today, right, is it's just all the old songs being covered or remixed.
Yeah.
There's no creativity anymore.
No.
Except for people like Lewis Capaldi, who needs protecting at all costs.
Yeah.
Because if nobody has seen the Glastonbury
Love that man.
video,
Yeah.
you need to go and watch it.
I
Because
actually
that
haven't.
is one of the most heartwarming things that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Even
I think
this new video that came out, me and you watched it, and we're like, I'm not crying, you're crying.
I haven't seen it, so make sure somebody send me in Discord DMs because that'd be.
Oh,
Be
really?
handy. Yes, for me, for modern music, I don't listen to any of it. To be honest with you, I don't listen to hardly anything. After sort of 2015, music really took a dive with the emergence, particularly of things like TikTok. It was more about what was going to go viral as a sound rather than what was going to go viral as a good song. Lyrically, songwriters aren't the same as what they once were. You used to have really good songwriters like the likes of, for me, Elton John, George Michael, Prince. They were really iconic in terms of how Gary Barlow wrote some really brilliant songs in terms of writing songs. And the songwriting has taken a dive, which actually then takes a dive in terms of the sound of it. You hear a lot of things now which are just, to be honest, generic crap. If you listen to the UK song for the Eurovision Song Contest, you could have put that literally in anything other than that song would have done better because it was just generic crap. It was
Compared
called
to last year's Eurovision to this year's.
yeah, and that's the thing. You see some artists that do emerge. Somebody like Sam Ryder, who has a fantastic voice, has songs that have lyrics with meaning. You listen, you read the songs, and you go, Jesus Christ! Actually, the lyrics actually have a meaning there. His voice is absolutely fantastic. Whereas you watch the people that come out now, I think that there's a real struggle to associate with those people as well. To be honest with you, it is tough to associate with people who have this sort of real. How do I put it? Without sounding, it is all about what's going viral on TikTok. It's all about what's going viral on other platforms rather than what's lyrically different. What did you guys listen to growing up? What was your?
No, I'm the oldest one here, so this is going to be fun.
What did you listen to back in the 60s, Roy?
Wow.
No.
I mean,
I honestly, I thought she was brilliant. She was absolutely fantastic. But no, what? So give me some ideas of the artists that you used to listen to when you grew up, particularly.
I've got a right list here.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first then?
Yeah, just
Queen, Wham, Justin Timberlake, Usher, Michael Jackson, Eminem, Backstreet Boys, Venga Boys, Avril Lavigne, 50 Cent, and Nickelback are all in my list.
that is a great list.
That I could
I'm
reel
not
off
kidding.
the top of my head.
I'm not kidding. That's a fantastic list of people. And
50 Cent.
And that the thing I will say about particularly that list, and it would be in the same in terms of my list as well. Look at the variety. That's the difference for me now, where you look at what the variety of artists that there are actually producing good music compared to the variety of artists back then that were producing good music. You just said Nickelback, 50 Cent, Eminem, Backstreet Boys, all in the same sentence, 4 different genres.
Don't forget girl like Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne, right?
Avril Lavigne, I had such a fucking crush on her when I was...
Yeah, we all did. We wished we were skater boys.
Yeah, you're lying if you say you didn't.
I wished I was a skater boy. I did, so that she could tell me "see you later, boy." You know, there was such a unique, particularly. I was a big fan of the '90s because it's where I grew up in. But the music quality then Coldplay, I think, are an artist for me with an absolutely massive trajectory with different sounds, different genres throughout their history. They've adapted, they've progressed, and artists like that are the ones that tell the test of time. Right, who have you got in there?
I had bands like Blink-182,
Yeah,
Green Day, Oasis, going back further back, Meatloaf, more Bon Jovi, and I'm not. I'll be doing my mother a disservice here if I say I didn't like Blondie.
yeah.
I grew up listening to Blondie because my mum loves Blondie. She got me into more like the punk rock side of things.
Yeah, and a lot of them are punk rock, but also just generic rock as well in there too. But definitely more that rock, sort of rock, indie rock, I think is definitely probably more your style, I would say, isn't it? In terms of your music.
And
but
then
that's
there's like Arctic Monkeys and things like that, which obviously I grew up around. But
yeah, and that's, again, in terms of, I think rock is definitely a genre that's absolutely nosedived off a cliff in the modern era. You don't see the quality of rock that you once did. Even indie rock, even alt rock, they're just not there. The Blink-182s of the world, the Sum 41s of the world, they just don't exist.
Sum 41 as well.
They just don't come around. For me, the music I listened to when I was growing up, a lot of it was pop. It was the chart music at the time. I loved 80s music, absolutely loved 80s music, whether it be the likes of Wham, George Michael, Elton John, anything of those kinds of that real power voice that you have, that unique sound of quality vocals. You just don't get that either anymore. There's not many quality vocal singers either. It's all generic. For me, if you're making music, I think you get rid of auto-tune. I think it should be banned. I think auto-tune should be banned from singing because it just takes away.
Have a job.
Yeah, exactly.
He barely has a job anyway.
It just dates that.
The only person these days who I think fit into your criteria is, and I know you don't like him, but Ed Sheeran, with his songwriting and things like that, he's very good. But the main one for me would be Sia.
Sia, she's fantastic vocals.
Underrated. She's got fantastic vocals.
Yeah.
She writes songs for literally everybody.
Yeah,
she literally wrote songs for Rihanna and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can literally fart down a mic and it'll be a top seller.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. Sia is somebody who I have a massive amount of actually on my playlists. I think Sia's got fantastic vocals. You don't have these power voices any longer. I do think that you have to give a shout out to Adele. I think Adele has a fantastic voice as well. She's definitely in that category.
Tupac was a
Tupac.
Big, yeah. Huge for me growing up.
What was the girl who died? Was it? I can't remember if it was Aaliyah. No,
it was Aaliyah and there was Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
I think it was,
one was from TLC. The other one was Aaliyah who died.
I think it was Aaliyah's the one, and she had an amazing voice. And we were kind of touching on this as well. To dive back into it, vocals. In terms of music vocals now, you just don't get the quality you once did. And you look at, I think particularly the peak of vocals is probably the 80s. In terms of just pure quality vocals. Whitney Houston, George Michael, Elton John, just absolute, and even just the artists who kind of rose through the 60s, 70s, Tina Turner's. They also were still about in the 80s. Pop, Freddie Mercury. You can literally throw all of these artists out there. That's great, and it does then move us up to a very nice topic, I think, as well. Moving on to this question of: do any of the artists in this following list fit into the top 10 artists of all time, or potentially do you think they could ever get there? Right, so I'm going to list off some artists that are very, very popular today. Do you think any of these 6 artists could fit into the top 10 today? And I'll start with you, MJ. Do you think Ed Sheeran could ever be in the top 10 artists of all time?
Yes.
You think he could?
Yes.
That good?
Yes.
Why?
Because he supports Ipswich Town.
Oh, okay. That's and then musically.
No, no, his music's fucking godly. Come on.
Okay.
The guy writes his own songs. If you've if you've seen his videos or like ever seen him like perform live and stuff, he has none of this stupid fucking like studio recorded shit. He's got a foot pedal and he does it all there and then. And it is one of the best things I've ever watched.
Yeah.
He don't need no backing tracks, backing singers, nothing. He's there on a guitar and he's got his keyboard set up and that's it. And he's got a foot pedal. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, top 10. Sorry.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, quite easily. And if you disagree with me, then I'm sorry we can't be friends anymore.
Do you think he is now or will be?
10 years down the first one. Then.
Do you think he is? Do you think he is now, or do you think it's just it will be when he finishes?
No, it will be when he finishes. No, not now.
Not now. Okay. No, I think that's fair. I think that's where I'd put him as well, actually. Right. What about you?
I put maybe next to him because, like I said, as of now, he's no Prince, he's no David Bowie, he's no Mick Jagger, he's no Freddie Mercury, he's no Meatloaf, he's none of them people. You
put Meatloaf in the top 10?
I would.
Yeah.
I honestly think Meatloaf is one of the most underrated singers as well.
He had a absolute powerhouse voice,
and all he ever did was fucking really power ballads, to be fair.
Yeah, he did. I will give you that as well. Yeah, he definitely did.
But yeah, I would definitely put Meatloaf up there.
I would say it's a 50-50 for Ed because of, for me, Ed Sheeran's early work was unbelievable. His early work, A-Team, Lego House, that kind of genre of music was dead until he brought it in. Right, it was not a popular music type of just acoustic. It was literally just him and his guitar. Right, that was it. And I would like to see more of that again. Don't get me wrong, there has been some absolute bangers in with the likes of his what's the slow dance one?
When your legs don't work like they used
that's
to
one. That one. I can't remember the song name, but that is an absolute thinking out loud. Absolutely one of the greatest of the modern era songs, without a doubt. It is. But I think some of his generic pop crap, where he's rejigged an old song and taken the credit off of an old artist, it's not at the level. It's not at the level. But again, there are lots of artists. Some of that on John's stuff, terrible, but he'll go down as one of the greatest of all time. So I do agree. I think Ed Sheeran has got potential for it. Whether or not, I don't think he'll ever go down as the greatest of all time, but I think he's got potential to be in the top 10. Right, Beyonce.
If she starts singing songs instead of making songs which are so fucking annoying, and I know this is going to be unpopular, right? But again, like I said before with Rihanna, she could fart down the mic and everyone would buy an album. It annoys me so much. She has all the talent in the world. She's got such an amazing voice, like an amazing a cappella voice as well. She's so good. And I know this is gonna maybe be very controversial, but Single Ladies is one of the worst songs I've ever heard. In the background, if you listen to the music in the background, it sounds like a clown horn just going off all the time, and it's so. Once you hear that clown horn, you'll never listen to that song again. I promise you, because it's awful. It's absolutely it's absolutely awful, and it's like she just. Fair enough to her. She's absolutely stunning. She can sing. I just think she just needs to sing a proper. If she sang a power ballad or something, like some of the songs are absolutely amazing. Like Halo was good. Other songs and things like that. When she slowed it down a bit and started like,
it's utilising your voice, isn't it?
What's that To the Left song?
To the left. Yeah, everything you want in the box to the left.
She slowed it down, or even did sort of like a old school Motown sort of like
I'd like to see
music.
that.
She would be absolutely fantastic. But when she sat there just literally repeating all the time, all the single ladies, it's like a football chant.
Yeah.
And a football chant.
Oh, the single ladies. Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
She definitely 100% can she be in like the best of the best, of course, just because of her voice alone. But she needs to change her music style for me, I think. Yeah,
I would like to see more variety, definitely. I think for me, definitely kind of echoing what you said. Someone like Ed Sheeran, I commend him for trying the other stuff. I just think it was shit. But you've got to try it. You've got to try it. You stay in your box all the time. You never know if you're better at something else. So no, I agree. MJ, thoughts on that as well?
I'm with Ryan on that one, mate. I put a question mark next to it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's one of them. Yeah, no. Like if you look back at a song, what was it called? Halo.
Yeah.
Halo.
Absolute banger. Great
Yeah.
song. Great like rhythm, melody, the lot. You know, vocals. But then yeah, like he says, you just start repeating lyrics. No, fuck off. You're boring.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she could go back and sing something from. I mean, I know Mariah Carey's not exactly popular, but well, she's popular, but I mean, like, not a lot of people like her. I mean,
Only at Christmas.
Yeah.
but she can sing things like Mariah sang, like Whitney sang. Do you know what I mean? She can hit. them fucking
Yeah.
absolute
She's got the
high
ability.
notes, but she just wastes. It's like it's wasted.
Yeah.
Like,
A wasted talent is exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, I need a bit more money here. I know what I'll do. All the single ladies. All the single ladies. Yeah, and it's like, there we go. That'll fetch in 100 million that I need.
Yeah.
That's what it's like for me, and I think she just needs to go back to her roots where she was actually really good at.
Even "Run the World" was a song that was actually.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to upset women.
Yeah.
That
No,
Run the World girls. It's
like,
just repetitive.
Yeah, and
Repetitive shit.
it's actually from another song that they've ripped off the backing track of as well. So again, it's just like a sign of the modern era. Cardi B. We'll start with you, MJ. You want to say something clearly? Could Cardi B ever be one of the top
Do you
10
literally want
artists
to
of
know
all
what I
time?
wrote next to her name?
Oh, God. Is it going to get him banned?
No, I have
Okay.
literally put next to her name. No, full stop. Fucking shite music.
I'm going to be honest as well. I've not heard much from Cardi B. Is she the one that sung that WAP song? Or no? Or am I wrong there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Definitely not then. Because that's the only one that I know, and if that's the only one that I know, then definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
No, I don't like her. Sorry. She's just a rip-off Nicki Minaj.
What about Nicki Minaj then? Throw her in the same equation. Same question.
Still no. But
Probably
she
not.
is better than Cardi B, I think. I would say. But then again, for her, I'll be fair. For her genre, so she'll be up against people like Salt and Pepper and things like that. Wouldn't she really technically? No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't. She's a very good. She is a very good
Nicki's
rapper.
a good rapper,
One of
yeah,
the
yeah.
best
Yeah, she's a good
female
rapper.
rappers around. I
Yeah,
will give her that.
definitely.
That's why I was sort of like lent towards away from like whether she's got the voice. She does have an okay voice, but her
Yeah.
rapping is the best part of her. So you got to associate her with rapping, not with like
exactly.
Tina Turner or whoever.
Yeah, and rapping is a skill. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're all fans of Eminem. We're all fans of 50 Cent. You know, that kind of thing. There's a skill there to rapping. Don't get me wrong. I will never class them in the top 10. Probably for. I think there's more to music than just rap. Eminem would probably be my one that I would say is close.
Yeah,
out of all of them,
100%.
I'd probably say.
Actually, Tupac.
Yeah. Tupac, if he he just died too early, didn't he? There's not enough
He didn't
repertoire.
die.
Yeah,
Tupac.
yeah. There wasn't enough repertoire for him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Cardi B again. I completely agree with you boys. I think it's just I don't get it. That's it, really. I just don't get it.
The next one pisses me off.
Drake, and we'll start with the pissed off boy. That is right.
No, never. I'd rather listen to the Cheeky Girls than Drake. I'd rather listen to. I'd rather listen to Nails Down the Chalkboard than Drake. He has.
You used to call me on my cell phone. May not when you need my.
The only good thing that he's done is what I sent you earlier on, and he hasn't even done it. It's been dubbed over.
Can he sing?
No, he can't even. I heard today. I think it was Mother Trucker that told me today. Actually, I heard today that he used to act before he sang. I didn't know that about him, and apparently he was a little douchebag on this TV show. I can't remember what she said he was in, but it failed there, so he went to singing, and he's failed there. What's he going to do next?
He can sing with auto-tune. Exactly, I said that it should be illegal. Auto-tune should be illegal.
He can sing with auto-tune.
Yeah.
Kanye West can sing with auto-tune.
Degrassi. He was on Degrassi. Okay. I didn't know that.
He played a guy in a wheelchair. He should have stayed in it.
And not sang. Or tried to. Whatever it is he does.
And rolled it off a cliff.
Yeah.
I've got yes, absolute god, and plays Apex. And that is the reason why he could be one of the top 10 of all time, because he plays Apex with its Timmy.
Yeah, okay, here's a question, Roy, right? Because your face is obviously saying 1,000 words, and we'll do this here as well.
Off.
If Post Malone hit #1 Pred, would you then argue it?
No.
Right?
No.
But what about Sunflower? That's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
One song.
He's good.
Yeah.
For
He's
hitting
released
off.
a few good songs. I can listen to a few of his songs, but the other one, no, nah. You're not telling me Meatloaf is worse than Post Malone. You're not telling me Prince is worse than Post Malone, or even name me anybody who's from the past.
Fuck the Purple Rain. I want a sunflower, mate.
Just because he plays Apex.
Yeah, I mean, that does sway it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Who did he main in Apex? Bloodhound? Because you're definitely noshing him off at this point.
No, but he played Pathfinder.
Did he?
Yeah.
Ah, maybe he will get in mine.
Mac has changed his mind.
Maybe he would get in one. If he got to #1 Pred as a Pathy main, then I'm putting him in there. All right, that's the only way. That's the only way. No, it doesn't for me.
Seriously though,
He's got talent. He's got talent. I'll give him that. Yeah.
He's got very good talent, but no, not for me. Not for me. Not in the top 10.
No, not for me.
Nowhere near either, and I don't mean that nastily towards him or anything like that.
No. There's not enough versatility there to be the greatest, I think, and that's in that category. Final one. We'll move on very, very quickly after this. Adele.
Yes.
MJ.
The only one that I've said yes to.
I've got yes. Never heard a voice like it. One of the best female vocalists to ever grace Earth.
That is a great way
And
for me to also
me
agree.
If I'm wrong, and I'll argue it all night long.
No, she's got a fantastic voice.
Smack me with a bottle.
Yeah. More. Nice. But no, I agree. I think she's not the best of all time. I think she's got a fantastic female voice, but she could definitely be in the top 10. I think 100%.
Definitely 100%. 5
songs that hit different and bring you to a happy place. We'll do one each and we'll go through them. So MJ, we'll start with you.
We'll start with Danza Kuduro.
Is that a Japanese artist or something? What?
No, it's a song at the end of Fast 5.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen Fast 1, never mind 5.
Yeah, I've not either.
It's just some Spanish like fucking holiday music that literally takes you to a happy place.
Oh, okay.
Bambino.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. I only know that because of you.
Is it good?
Yeah, but it's a happy song. It's got a good vibe to it.
Okay, if it's got a
only
good vibe.
good because it's Spanish and hasn't got Pitbull in.
Oh, maybe you're gonna fight in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Roy?
I've gone with Scooter, the Logical song.
Oh, what a tune! It is a tune. That is a tune.
Because I'm not gonna lie, every single time I went to a house party when I was going through, like that song was like coming out and it was spot on. When you go to house parties, or even if you go out on a night out and things like that, if that song comes on, you're like, even if you sat down, you just have to get up and bounce to that song. It's it's like a literally get up on the table, glow sticks, go for it sort of song, and I love it. I love Scooter so much.
Cracking song. I'm going to throw a different one in there altogether, which is going to be very, very different. Frankie Valli, What a Night, December 1963 is an absolute tune. And if anyone says anything different, if you listen to that song, you're having a great time. So that's mine. I love Frankie Valli. Absolutely love Frankie Valli. He's the best artist I've ever seen live. And that says a lot when he was 92 performing. So
I remember you telling me.
I've still got the clips. I watch them regularly. Right, MJ, next song.
Pompeii.
Oh, I like it. That is actually a really good feel-good song, you know. Really, really good song. Right?
It's one of them songs, turn it up, let it go.
Yeah, 100%.
I've gone for Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way.
Oh, what an absolute banger. That is an unbelievable song.
Such a good feel-good song.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed that on my list. That could have easily gone on there, you know. That really could have. Next song is Concerning Hobbits from The Lord of the Rings, and I don't give a shit. Anybody who listens to that song and doesn't feel good afterwards is lying and need a punch in the crotch, right? Concerning Hobbits is one of the best songs ever to feel good after. I don't care. I do not care. MJ?
Yeah.
Is it 3 times? Yeah, 3 times.
No.
By Chris Brown.
Yeah, by Usher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's yeah.
Because
That's Chris Brown.
Chris fills cups like double D's. That is just a favourite line in that song.
Brilliant. Okay. I respect it.
It's a great happy place, mate. Who don't like double D's?
Okay. No, I get it. I do. What's wrong with you? Rye?
I've gone for, and I don't know if not people will know this, but Teenage Kicks by the Undertones.
I think I do.
It's such a banger. It's from like a punk rock era of the 80s.
Okay.
And it takes me to a happy place because it's what my mum used to literally blast whenever she did a Sunday dinner. And that's what it takes me back to. And the thing takes you back to a happy place. And
No, I agree with that.
But if you can listen to it later on, obviously listen to Teenage Kicks. You'll know exactly what song I'm on about.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've heard. I know the name.
As soon as you hear the opening like guitar riff, you'll know exactly what song it is.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I'm sure I will. I went with Erasure. A Little Respect.
Okay.
Just because I can hit every single note in that song and I don't care. And I will sing it word for word from start to finish. It'll be before work. I'll be cooking my dinner downstairs. I'll be putting everything around and Erasure will be blasting out 9 times out of 10 and I will sing every single song of it and a word of it and I don't care. I do not care. MJ, song 4.
This is going to be a weird one, but Oh Happy Day from Sister Act.
Yes.
Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
That's a tune. Great
that
tune.
Is a banger.
And same as you, when I was younger, I could nail every fucking note in that song. But since my balls have dropped, I kind of struggle with that really high pitched one.
I'll tell you what, we're going to see and then we'll try and do a TikTok out of it, yeah?
Yeah, we'll do a TikTok. Yeah, definitely. Good shout. I like that. Very much like that. Yeah, I like the obscure ones because they're kind of, it's an insight into your mind. Rye?
No, I've gone 4. And this might be a weird one considering the ones that I've said, but Untouched by the Veronicas.
I feel so untouched.
Yeah. It's a of a song, mate. If you're ever feeling like you just got too much energy, put that song on and dance around like a nugget.
Just that's it. You got a bop like that.
100% Untouched Veronicas.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Do I go for the happiest moment I've ever had in my life, or do I go for the absolute bop? Which one?
Happy. I want to know what the happiest moment in your life.
Okay, the happiest moment of my entire life is Zante. The second time I was there, I was absolutely steaming at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon with a strawberry daiquiri in my hand. I was fucking off my tits drunk. And then Coldplay, Sky Full of Stars came on. And I was like, this is the best moment I've ever had in my life. I've got no concern. I've got no worries. I've got no stress whatsoever. It was probably about 2015, I think it was, maybe 2015, 2014, something like that. And I've got that in there. And I was just like, this is life. This is what life's meaning is. Being so drunk that I can't stand up with a strawberry daiquiri in my hand, in front of a pool, getting the sun on me, no concerns, no stress whatsoever. Sky Full of Stars starts playing, and I remember that moment so clearly, and then I don't remember anything else. MJ, final song. Go on, hit me.
I've literally just changed my mind last minute because I've just thought of an absolute banger.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Waka Waka.
Oh, good, nice.
Because that does get you in the mood, but I've literally
also
just
brings you back to like World Cup and things like
You've gone for Waving Flag, haven't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've gone for Swedish House Mafia. Don't you worry, child.
Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just love that song.
Yeah, very good.
It literally just hit me now.
Yeah.
It is a tune.
Right, last song.
Literally, you know what I mean? I'm sporting the shirt. It's got to be.
Chicken.
No, I'm joking.
Chicken attack. Go on then.
The one that makes me happy, and it's probably going to be like, oh well, it's fucking so original. But Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Hearing that when I was younger made me want to actually play guitar.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So it actually made me, hearing, like, learning who Slash was, and then, like, obviously hearing his it was more Slash rather than Axl, but hearing all of that and everything like that made me want to get into music. So
Yeah.
I'd have to say Sweet Child of Mine.
Honestly, lads, really great suggestions. As well. My final one, which is just an absolute bop. It's just an absolute bop. Is AC/DC. You Shook Me All Night Long. I think it's an
we're going to be on yours.
I think it's just honestly, if that song plays, I have to stop exactly what I'm doing and just dance. I dance around the house
as well, and just
yeah. I'll be like knee sliding on the carpet. I'll be doing backflips onto the sofa and all sorts. It's just AC/DC. You Shook Me All Night Long. I just can't not. The number one artist you would love to see, dead or alive. Rye, we'll start with you. The one artist you like. One dead, one live. Sorry.
Like, one alive would be Lewis Capaldi.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, it speaks for itself. He's just an absolute down to earth guy who he's so fucking funny outside of music as well. He's he's got jokes for days. But yeah, Lewis Capaldi.
Yeah, good choice.
And dead. Now I was going to say Jimi Hendrix, but then a guy popped into my head earlier on today, and I'm going to go with Mark Bolan.
Okay,
T-Rex. Don't know who Mark Bolan is. Yes, T-Rex.
Yeah.
The music that he released in the 70s was just absolutely... It changed a lot of things.
Yeah, my dad's favourite artist.
He's absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. Nice. Very good choice. MJ?
I mean, my one alive's obvious.
Ed Sheeran.
Pitbull.
Yeah.
No, Ed Sheeran, mate. I'd love to go see Ed. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah,
The one
very good.
dead now... I used to sing this a lot when I was a kid on karaoke from this artist. Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Man got culture.
I
I'm
would
surprised.
love to go and see Frank Sinatra.
Fair.
Very nice. Yeah. Power voice. Alive, I went with Coldplay. Not just because of, you know, they've got so many bangers. They've been doing it for 20 odd years, but the production value you get from a concert these days, Coldplay nail it. The stuff that you see, the video you see of the German guy getting on the stage and playing with him, but the quality of the production is just absolutely outstanding for Coldplay. You get your money's worth when you go to a Coldplay gig. And dead, I've gone with the greatest artist that has ever lived in Elvis Presley. I think he's the greatest artist of all time. I couldn't think of anyone else that I would rather see play and perform than Elvis Presley.
What about Freddie?
Freddie Mercury was so close. Freddie Mercury was so close.
Yeah, I tried to think outside Freddie because I thought somebody else would say him.
But he was so close. Freddie Mercury. But I would have gone with Elvis just because Elvis inspired pretty much everything. And that's the thing. Elvis did every genre that was known to man pretty much at the time and nailed them all. So yeah, that's why I went for them. Our final topic, ladies and gentlemen, is football. So we're going to be talking on football now, particularly focusing on the Premier League. Now I know it may not be everyone's favourite thing in the world for football, but we're going to talk about the state of the Premier League at the moment. And the first question really is to these two: is it the best league in the world? Do you think it's the best league in the world? We'll start with you, Roy.
Yes.
Why?
The reason why, I know Man City are a powerhouse right now and they're winning everything, right? But at the same time, you put Real Madrid in that league. I'm not saying they wouldn't win it. If you took Man City out and put Real Madrid in, if you took Man City out and put Bayern Munich in, if you put Man City out and put PSG in, I think they'd struggle against teams like Villa, like Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Like where if you put Man City, Liverpool, Man United, whoever in the Spanish league, in the German league, in the French league. French league, if PSG aren't there, whoever you put in there is going to win it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's true. The German league, Dortmund, and maybe Leipzig if they uncover some, because Leipzig do have a good youth academy.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, good scouting system as well.
But 2 teams. Spanish league, yes, you've got Atletico Madrid, you've got Barcelona, Valencia have their moments from time to time. But in other leagues, there's no Brightons, there's no, even Brentford this season. There's no Brentfords.
Yeah.
There's no Fulham this season. There's no teams like that stand out for me in the Spanish league, in the French league, or in the German league, and or even in the Italian. To be fair, Italian league's probably actually the better one of the other 3 that I've mentioned, because you've got Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus, Napoli. They're doing well at the minute. Atlanta, they're doing well at the minute. But even so, there's 5 teams where in the English Premier League, I just don't think these teams would fare well against playing against even Crystal Palace away.
Yeah, I think the physical side of it is definitely a big part of it as well. You've got, I think, someone like the Spanish league, in particular, like kind of you said, and again, I'll bring you in as well, MJ, in a second. But particularly things like the Spanish league, the physicality of it is where they may struggle. Somebody like the old Stoke is what we go.
Yes.
Right, can you deal with Stoke away? Nobody could do that on a Wednesday night on a rainy day at Stoke. I don't think many Spanish teams would do that. However, I do think a lot of them would play us off the park with the technical side of it. So there are different aspects but I think that the Premier League probably has a bit of everything in there. MJ, what are your thoughts on that?
I did miss Sevilla off as well.
You think it's the best league?
I did miss Sevilla.
Yeah. All the other leagues are too slow. They've got no tempo. It's literally a possession game. It's not even a football match.
Yeah. See, I agree.
Like I said there, put a Premier League team in one of them leagues, watch them go full sending, and the other team will shit themselves and not know what's hit them.
Yeah.
I agree with Matt there, and a lot of this might shock a lot of football fans, whoever's in your chat or whoever watches this in the future. The only league that's close for me isn't the Spanish league, and the Spanish league is dubbed one of the best leagues in the world. But that was only because Messi and Ronaldo were there. I'm only being honest. That's only because Messi and Ronaldo were there. And of course, you're going to tune in, week out to watch Messi and Ronaldo. Of course you are. But the only league, that's close to the English Premier League is the Italian. But the Italians are so defensive.
Yep.
If you watch the score lines in the Italian league, there's rarely a 4-0. There's rarely this, that, or the other. It's always 1-0.
Very solid, aren't they? Very solid.
0-0.
Yeah.
They're so good at defense. Italians are so good at defensive work. It's unreal. That's why I hate it when England play, or even Liverpool play against an Italian team, because you know you're not going to score many goals.
I mean, you look at the final, Champions League final. They're very, very well set up, aren't they? Well drilled. And it's just built into their culture.
Who've been actually scoring goals against everybody who they've came across, even Real Madrid. You go and play in the Champions League final against Inter Milan, they score 1. I mean, I know they won the final 1-0, but it's 1-0. They were Inter Milan set it up so perfect that they were just unlucky, I think, because the game was boring in itself. But they set up like, we're going to defend and hopefully get a goal, nick a goal here or there, and it just didn't work out for them on the night. But Man City still only scored 1 with Erling Haaland up front and all these superstars that they've got. They only scored 1 goal.
Yeah,
so I think they were unlucky on that night.
I have an argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only argument I have is that the Championship is the best league.
Right.
And it's not because of the quality, but it's because there is no way in hell that you can predict a result before you go into it. I think that league, having been in it now, my team, Coventry City, having been in it now for 3 seasons, is the most unpredictable league in the world, and the quality of football is exceedingly good. The quality of football in the Championship is really high standard compared to the second divisions of any other league. Most championship clubs would probably do well in a lot of other leagues, even top tier leagues, because of the funding that comes from a lot of the teams. But at the same time,
would do well in France.
That's what I mean. I think a lot of championship clubs would do really, really well.
Team in France.
Yeah, and whilst the Premier League has a lot of attraction to it because of the likes of the players, the money that's involved, in terms of an even playing field, and MJ will probably see this next year, particularly because you've been out of it for a little while now as well, as an Ipswich fan. When you go into it, you have no idea what's turning up. No idea. 2 months before the end of the season, my team, Coventry City, we literally got rolled at home by Stoke for 4-2. We were 3-0 down at half-time. Right? That doesn't happen in the Premier League. It doesn't. It doesn't happen. Man, we're pushing for playoffs. There's no way that Man United are 3-0 down to Fulham at home. There's not. And that's what I think is the only argument. I don't think there's any other competitor as part of the top leagues of Europe.
I think that's unfair, though.
But in terms of excitement...
I think if you're going to say something like that, you have to compare them. Like, was Stoke high in the league? No, they weren't. They were at the bottom. And I know what you're saying. Where were you at this point? We
were pushing for playoffs.
So technically, you were like a Brighton.
But even say Burnley. Burnley ran away with the league, and at times there'd be a shock result. Sheffield United. You know, the teams at the top end still getting shock results at the bottom. We drew to Wigan. Who got relegated at the bottom of the league. There's very few of those results at the top end of the Premier League.
Unpredictable. I agree there, but
and that's what I like about it. I wouldn't say I'm not arguing it's better, but I would say there is an argument that it's exciting in the same aspect, because I can tell you now, next season in the Championship, anybody could be in the playoffs or go up. As could anybody be relegated. And that's the difference. Your club has a hope of getting to the big time. Whereas in the Premier League, Fulham aren't winning the Premier League. The only exception to that rule, and we'll move it on to the next question as well, which I think is a good one too, with the most entertaining moments and classic moments from the Premier League era. But Leicester City were the only team that brought any hope to other clubs to win the Premier League.
Yep.
The only team. It was the exception to the rule. It was an exciting season that nobody had ever seen before. It was absolutely out of this world. And as a neutral fan, everybody should say that was a victory for football, without a doubt.
Even as a Liverpool fan, I said it myself.
Yeah. And I will remember that for my entire life as a football fan. I will remember that.
It's harsh for people who support top clubs in the Premier League. I support Liverpool myself. But top teams in the Premier League were like, yeah, but at the same time, Man United didn't do well. Man City didn't do well that season. Liverpool didn't do well that season. It doesn't matter. It's about consistency and the will to win.
It's 38 games.
You have to, it's over 38 games. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And the amount of times that's been used in football, and the fact that they did it, you can't turn around and say, oh, well, in another season, they wouldn't have won it. Yeah, in another season, they wouldn't have won it. But in that season, they did. They took the initiative. Jamie Vardy, what was it? He scored. He was the first player to score. I think it was
20-odd
goals in 11 games.
13.
I'm sure it was Was it 13?
I think it's 13. It's over 2 seasons. But
11 or 13 games. He's the only player to score in consecutive games. So game after game, he scored 11 or 13 goals after game after game after game.
Yeah,
as a striker, you have to take your hats off to them. As much as it pains anybody who's a Liverpool fan, who's a Man City fan, who's a Man United fan,
and that's to take your hat to them. And that's why I would argue that the Championship could be argued as the better league, only because my team should never be in the playoffs. Coventry City, we had the 23rd highest budget. We had the second lowest budget in the league for the Championship, and we had one kick away from being in the big time. That excitement as a football fan, you don't get that very often. You don't. Next year, what could happen to us is we could be in a relegation battle. You don't get that in the Premier League. If you're a Liverpool fan, if you're a Man City fan, if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're an Arsenal fan, if you're a Man United fan, your ambition is top 4 minimum, win the league. right? They're the two things you want, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Brentford fan, your ambition is, I want to stay in the league, right? As a Championship fan, my ambition is, let's hope we have a good season. We'll see where we are, right? I want to win some. I want to lose some. If we stay up because we're having a shit season, so be it. If we get up to the Premier League, oh my God, we've well overachieved. MJ, as an Ipswich fan, what do you want next year? You want a good season. You want to stay in the league and you want a good season. You never know where you're going to be. You could be anywhere. You could be playoffs. You could be top 2. You could be relegation fodder. And that's the excitement of football. For me, it makes you appreciate as a fan the ups and the downs. I've been all the way down to League 2. I've watched Grimsby away. It's the worst game of football I've ever seen, and we still won 2-0, right? We won 2-0. It's the worst game of football I've ever seen. But I think that's what the beauty of league, like Championship football, it takes away that giant aspect of expectation.
I think what you're trying to say is it reminds you why you fell in love with the game.
Yeah, it really, really does. And I think when you're a big club, it kind of takes it a little bit away because the expectation is to be where you're supposed to be, and if you don't get there, you're devastated almost of where.
I do get that what you're saying, I really do, but also being a Liverpool fan, like you've said, there's been some special nights. There is these moments in football, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying there, where like it reminds, like being in the Championship in League One, it reminds you why you fell in love with the game.
Yeah, definitely.
I do get that, and I do respect that. To be fair, I do.
The little clubs. I think there's a beauty to, and MJ, I'll invite you as well. The smaller clubs, when you get a victory, it means so much more because they're so rare. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you went up last year. The ecstasy of it.
It's been a long time coming, though. We've just been building.
We'll talk about the most entertaining classic moments that you remember from the Premier League. Pick a moment each. We'll go through them together and we'll have a little chat about it too. So we'll start with you, MJ. A specific moment that you remember from the Premier League era growing up that just really just stands out in your head and you go, fucking hell, I remember that. It was either a howler, a memorable, etc.
Bergkamp's flick around the defender.
Oh, it was absolutely sensational. Sensational. One of the best. Yeah. Absolutely insane piece of individual brilliance. And anybody who says he didn't mean it, you're fucking lying.
No, he's
absolutely lying. Absolutely
genius behind that touch.
Phenomenal player. Oh my God. Absolutely wonderful.
Kevin De Bruyne couldn't have set him up better. To be honest,
no.
Especially in football today. So, I mean,
no. And yeah, he's just he was on a different level.
On his own.
He was on a different level.
Mental.
Right.
Mine is the Kevin Keegan rant. because Matt took the Bergkamp. Mine's the Kevin Keegan rant to Alex Ferguson. I'd love it if we beat them, and then they played Liverpool, and they got beat 4-3, and it's just Kevin Keegan's face at the end when he's hanging on the edge of the thing, and he's just like.
Oh no! Oh no! Kevin Keegan's moment, brilliant.
Threw away all them points away that they were ahead at Christmas and lost the league to Man United. That sticks out of my head. Yeah, that does stick out for me. For me, and it's a really obscure moment, and you two might remember it. I think I mentioned it to you the other day, actually, right? But when Lauren Robert blasted the ball at Olivier Bernard and knocked him clean out, his own teammate from about 5 yards away, blasted the ball at full pout and completely knocked his teammate out. Oh my God, I was in fucking stitches. He's raging at the fucking game because the referee's blown up for a foul and just booted the ball at full pout to knock his teammate out. He's flat on the floor. Oh my God, I was in tears. I was in tears at that moment. One of the best fucking moments. As well. Mickey's put a moment in there as well. I don't know if either of you had that in your list for memorable moments. Do you remember it? Yeah. Yeah, I've got Cantona. I've got JJ Okocha playing for Bolton and Ivan Campo.
Oh,
and they got relegated.
Yeah,
that to me is absolutely wild because they literally.
And Helguera. Yeah, both of them.
They had such a good team.
They had a good quality team. Such a weird team.
Watching JJ Okocha I love JJ.
A special player, yeah. MJ?
Yes, Eric Cantona, kicking a fan was on there.
Yeah, MJ?
David Seaman's save.
I actually know exactly which one you're
the
about.
laws of
the
physics.
Sheffield United.
He reaches all the way back and flicks it. Yeah.
Technically a cup final, but I will give it you because I remember that it's out of this world. Out of this world how he saved that. It was like a claw on the ball. You're talking finger strength of a god. I've gone for Dion Dublin stealing the ball off Shay Given for the next one as well. Do you remember that? Where Shay Given rolls it out as a goal kick?
Yes.
And literally Dion Dublin. As a Coventry fan, watching that live at Highfield Road, God rest Highfield Road, missed that ground. Watching that live at Highfield Road unfold when Shay Given has literally rolled the ball out as the goalkeeper. Dion Dublin comes back onto the pitch and taps it in the net from behind him. It was one of the greatest moments I will ever remember in football. And also is the reason for the change in the law. You cannot do that off the pitch. You cannot do that off the pitch. You're not allowed.
Another one in there for me, I know you want to move on, but quickly. Another one in there for me was the season Liverpool won the Premier League.
Yeah.
For the first time in fucking 30 years.
With the COVID year, yeah.
But when Alisson went up on a 95th minute, it was
Header.
1-1 versus West Bromwich Albion, and our goalkeeper Alisson went up for the 95th minute, and he scored a header, and we won that game, and that game solidified us.
Yeah.
To go on and win that Premier League. I do believe that. It was so fucking... I swear to God, I wish everybody I knew was around me when that went in.
Yeah.
Because I went absolutely apeshit. I'm not even lying about it. I went crazy.
Yeah, mental. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. MJ, have you got any more that stand out?
Thierry Henry has returned to Arsenal against Leeds.
Oh, fantastic. Just... For me, Henry is up there, definitely in terms of he's at least top 3 players in the Premier League all time.
The definition of absolute pure class.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
The way he approaches football, the way he plays football, the way.
Don't ask me about Ireland because that makes me still mad. But yeah. I've gone for Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer. Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer fighting on the same team was fantastic. Yes. You got any more moments?
In that game?
They both got sent off, yeah. They both fought each other and the ref went, "You're both off." And they were down to 9 men.
Thinking, by the way, because Bowyer would have absolutely lamped him, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, Bowyer was a madman.
All day, every day.
Yeah. But
yeah, people like Vinnie Jones and things like that, Neil Ruddock.
Yeah,
Roy
definitely.
Keane. The people like that back in the 90s would not be playing today.
No, not at all.
They'd be deemed as not good at football.
Any other outstanding moments from either of you that you've got?
The Aguero moment.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Aguero. I think it's the greatest moment in Premier League history. I really do. I don't think there'll ever be a moment. Yeah. I think it's unbelievable. I remember the day. I remember everything.
He rolls off to Aguero.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest moment in Premier League history, and I don't think it will ever be topped. If it does, fair play. I do want to make a special mention myself for Fernando Torres ruining Manchester United 4-1 away. I think that game was one of the most unbelievable solo performances I've seen from a player, just literally scaring the life out of a player in Nemanja Vidic. But Nemanja Vidic was one of the greatest centre-halves ever to live.
He was. I agree there, but the funny thing is, in an interview with Nemanja Vidic, he got asked his top 3 players who he hated playing against, and Torres wasn't even there, so he's even still scared to mention his name.
Yeah, he probably is.
Every single time he played against Torres, he had Torres had him in his back. I'm sorry, Mickey, but it's true. It's true. Torres was something else at Liverpool. He really was. He deserved to be a Premier League winning team.
Final 2 moments as well. I'm going to move us on as well because I want to get us through this, and then we can get into the final bit, which is, first of all, David Beckham scoring from the halfway line, I think, was phenomenal.
I've got that in mind.
Yeah, I think David Beckham scoring from the halfway line was absolutely insane. David Beckham was one of my all-time icons. I think he's so underrated.
Did it twice, but we won't mention that.
Yeah, I think the way that Beckham did it though was groundbreaking. No one had ever seen it. Really, no one had ever seen it. Di Canio is a good shout as well. Di Canio pushing the referee over, stopping play when another player was down on the opposition. His bicycle kick was phenomenal. Di Canio. we'll just put Di Canio in his own box. Just Di Canio as a person. Finally, the last thing I want to say is Leicester winning the Premier League. I think it's absolutely out of this world. And N'Golo Kante basically was 3 players. So I think he deserves a massive amount of credit.
You know, he gets nicknamed the Rash.
Yeah.
He gets nicknamed the Rash from his players because he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the podcast today. I appreciate everyone who stuck around. Thank you very, very much. We got some editing to do to put it out on YouTube, but thank you very much to these 2 blokes in terms of MJRegan on the top left here, and then also Ronaldo on the right. Thank you very much to both of them for joining.